So like, what like got you guys like what artists got you guys into like making music, and like wanting to do this?
I really want to know yours.
Well, I don't know. Different for me because it's like I didn't start listening to hip hop first, like in music. So I used to listen to a lot of like folk music, a lot of Bob Dylan as a kid, because that's what my dad was playing around the house, right? So that's like my first experience with music, and then just being like a young kid in hip hop, being like what's playing.
What's popping right now?
Like Cole, a lot of Kendrick, like just like elemental hip hop shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's
And Bob Dylan too, like in terms of like using poetry and
Definitely.
music, like definitely has a lot of links to like hip hop.
Most
Did
definitely.
a lot of spoken word over rock and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? For me, I listened to a lot of jazz when I was younger, cause like I had a lot of family, so like I would go to my great grandmother's house, and they would just listen to music, and I heard it, and I would dance to it. And I didn't know how much it would influence me now. Like when I make beats and stuff, I like a lot of jazz, but I realized that recently. But like I like Cole, for sure. Travis is an influence on me. That made me. I listened to Travis for 6 months straight. Travis Scott, like Birds, Days Before Rodeo, and Rodeo. I listened to those three, and then got me hooked on music for real. And then when I started listening to J. Cole, I started hearing the structure after. I started listening to Travis. And then when I heard Kendrick, because the same year, that's when he dropped Damn too. So I got to listen to that, and then I went back to all his old music again and listened to it. And when I heard Kendrick, that's when I really wanted to rap. I was like, whoa. Because he just brought it to just like a whole different level. Like J. Cole gives you that like, okay, he's telling you something, he's super true to himself. And then Travis gives you that straight hype usually, but then Kendrick can do both. Yeah, and I just never seen, you know what I mean? So like those three, when I listen to those three, it's just like, it's crazy.
There's a different depth with Kendrick, like can create, like bring you into a different
dimension. A different world.
He can literally bring you can be sad in the song, and then he can be like, oh, you're hype at the end, just go crazy.
I really do agree, but something I find with my personal relationship with Kendrick is like, he had a lot of pressure put on him as like hip hop's like savior, like you know, he spits real hip hop to the point where like at least with the Damn album, like it feels like he's almost not enjoying it anymore. Like he feels like he has this pressure to like say things a certain way, or like it just feels like less like.
Yeah, but like
I don't know.
You hear him on features.
I think
I don't know.
I think we're listening to different records.
I listen to Kendrick. I'm like, jeez, he's saying something like I wouldn't hear someone say.
Yeah.
Like he's
Damn is tough. I think like Damn is a crazy record.
But what I mean is like when you have a certain pressure on you as an artist to be a certain thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Kendrick has a lot of pressure on him to rap a certain way or to like.
I don't think it affects him though.
Exude a certain thing.
Yeah, I don't think I don't really think it affects him either, because if you listen to To Pimp a Butterfly and then you go listen to Damn, in my opinion, they're two completely different things.
They're completely different albums.
Like completely different.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But like, you know, maybe I'm just biased. My favorite, like, the replay value's different than Section 80 and
Mad City.
Like you can hear
Mad City.
Like in those first three,
You know what I
I'd say
mean?
the first three, like To Pimp and Section 80 and then like Good Kid, Mad City were more him. More in his like, and then when he came up with Damn, I could see it was more industry, but I feel like he was still in his same
To make a pop record and say that much profound shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like just listen to, and then hearing like when I listen to Damn, I heard stuff I wouldn't hear in a hip hop track either.
Yeah.
He's mixing a lot of stuff together that you wouldn't hear together.
And that is a beautiful thing about Kendrick. He's like really a student of the culture.
Yeah.
And like you can see all his different like influences, you know, like. And
he's just pushing it forward. Like even for me, like I've been listening to rap, been involved making rap for years, and like when I heard like Kendrick, it's just like it's dense. You know what I mean?
Super
Like
dense.
it challenges. Like I know a lot of artists, have seen a lot of artists, different directions, and be avant-garde and whatnot. But like to be on that platform, like Frantic said, like making like a mainstream record or having access to a mainstream audience and making this really sort of like challenging, thought-provoking material is like you know, it's not like I can't like I almost can't even like listen to too much Kendrick because it's just so dense.
Well,
you know
it gets,
what I mean?
like
he
almost
It's
overwhelming.
like too much. He's taking me too many places. I'm like, Jesus.
No,
that's
literally,
so
when I listen to
chill.
Damn that year and I listen to those 3
Yeah.
albums, I haven't really listened to Kendrick all the time that
Yeah.
much now. Like, I'll listen to it if I need it.
Yeah.
But, like, other than that, I won't listen to Kendrick that
Definitely.
much. Because it is heavy.
dense.
It's super heavy.
Yeah, super heavy.
Well, it's almost like reading a novel, right? Like if you read a novel, you're not gonna want to reread it again, like that. You know what I mean? Like it's that density,
Yeah,
right? Like where you absorbed it, you took it in, you understand it, and now you got to move on to something.
The performance on God is Gangster is fucking
Like, and honestly, one thing I love about like Kendrick is like he rides that line of like, he's not a street dude, but he grew up around street dudes, so he can talk about like.
And that's why I
certain
relate
things
to Kendrick
from an
a lot,
interesting
too.
perspective,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's
like,
why I also listen to Kendrick, because I'm not a street dude, but I grew up around
you
a
grew
lot
up
of street,
around
a lot
him.
of street dudes.
Yeah.
So that's why I listen to him, too. I connect on that level and listen to his music.
One thing before we gotta wrap this shit up is actually something I thought about is
Back to the camera.
fuck. Don't hire me to do shit. All right.
Don't worry.
So don't worry.
You're good. Go ahead. What was that thing you're thinking of?
Never mind, man.
Oh, come on.
So you got a song called Fate, right? You got a song called Destiny.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Thematically the same idea, but like structurally and like presented in a very different way. And like, you know, I was going through both of your discographies again, like getting ready for this shit,
Yeah.
and I just like, it was a really beautiful moment for me to hear like that, like you guys know each other, but it's not like you're like around each other all the time or like whatever. And like the fact that like you guys both presented that same concept in two separate aesthetics and like from two different generational point of views, it was just like it represented what like hip hop is to me. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like some of the most amazing things like that I've learned, you know, lessons were through this music.
No, for real.
You know what I mean? And like, it's one of the beautiful things about the culture. And like, you know, again with hip hop, I'm just fucking rambling. I'm drunk.
Add something.
Yeah.
Ask a question.
Big up, Sagua Santa.
Yeah. If you guys got something to say, just raise
Big
your
ups,
hand.
Glenn.
Raise your hand. Glenn Aguasanta. Fucking, God.
That was a good observation.
No, that's a good
So like,
Yeah.
what did each of those tracks mean to each of you individually or as collectives? So let's start with you, Kye.
What, me and him were making that?
I remember making that.
Because he made the beat for it.
Yeah.
So we're in there and we're just chilling. I was like, bro, I don't even know. It just came across and making it.
That
And
was
then,
the
like,
night when we made like 3 tracks.
3 tracks that night?
He stayed late. 'cause
Oh,
it
yeah, I
was
did stay late. Yeah,
It
we
was
did
a
record
school
3.
night, and we
We
normally
usually
don't go
record
that
until
late.
like 1, and then I walk home, and it's like
Yeah.
15-minute walk, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
You
But
know-
yeah, just like making that track, it's just like, I just wanted to tell people that like you control what you do, and like things are gonna happen that are not gonna go your way, but at the end of the day, you do control your destiny to a point.
You
And
can't
have to
control
make-
what happens to you, but you can control how you deal with it.
Exactly. You make choices. You make decisions at the end of the day. Your destiny's gonna go, like if I pick this decision or this decision, it's gonna go this way or this way. So I just made that track based off me. Like I control my own destiny. Whatever choice I made that because that's what I want to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like, certain things are like themes that cross generations or cross like, you know, any different boundary, race or fucking material wealth or whatever, right? And like the idea of like destiny or predestination or like self-control over your life is like something that we deal with a lot,
Yeah.
right? Like, are we just the sum of the things that happen to us, or do we actually got free will?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? And that's an
that's
interesting
not-
concept, right? And like to talk about that
So
again.
Socks, where does that balance fit with you?
The balance of what?
About what you can control and what you can't control.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I got all. When you start thinking about it,
It's too deep. It's actually so much.
it's chicken.
Because I be having these conversations with my friends all the time.
But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I know you guys be getting high and like.
we be talking about the most craziest thing. We're talking about like, is there really space? Like we're going on about just a bunch
we
of
be
stuff.
talking
That's
about
right.
this crazy
Yeah.
shit.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I don't know. Yeah, like I think that it's funny, just like, yeah, hearing him talking about the song and what sort of approach and like the thought process of it. It's like a lot of similarities to the song that I did. But yeah, it was just like, you know, for me the impetus for that track was like I just heard this beat that my dude M Mac in Toronto made, and it was just so like crazy, and I just like had to delve into it and be like, what does this like evoke for me? You know what I mean? Into what topic, what sort of, you know, what words can I bless this with to like bring this song to where it needs to be? And I was like, I had to go into something like, you know, I had to go to outer space with it, you know, get philosophical a little bit, you know, because I don't know. I think a lot of people are running around and lose sight of what they need to be doing, you know what I mean? I mean, we're all guilty of that.
Because you guys did the song at different points in your career.
Yeah.
Like yours was on FYPT,
Later,
which was after you already got the Juno nod.
Yeah.
Right? And yours is more at the beginning of your career.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the idea of like destiny or fate and what it means to you is different. And you know, and like, you know, when I was
Yet
hearing
the
you
same.
Yet the same.
That's how I
Yet
say,
this,
the
well,
same.
cause like, yeah, fuck. See, y'all fucked me up. Well, fuck. What was I gonna say?
Different points.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird, yeah. Like you know, it's funny. You know, I'm just like, I've gone. I don't know. Up until that point, it had been like 11 or 10 years of making records, and then I do that track. You know what I mean? And then it's like in your how
That was
long?
like a year.
A year in, you
Yeah.
make that track.
Make that
So it's
track.
like, you know, it's just an interesting way. You know, it's interesting to see where people are going and like, and I, you know, like you were talking about earlier about how you like came up with like all the apps and like social media shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't. You know, like I had a pager when I was like your age. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Little bit
it's a
of
different,
gold
it's
in
a
the
different, it's
page.
a different journey, different path. But like, I think that like you're like already steeped in like your introduction to hip hop and like lyricism. Like Kendrick is like one of the like these are the guys that are like being introduced to. It's like you know, like a first grader going to Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, and the stuff that you're making is so, it's, you know, sophisticated, and it's gonna keep getting
Appreciate
crazier.
that.
You know what I mean? So I
Honestly-
have, you know, big respect for that.
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Seriously.
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
it might sound corny, but like, I see what you guys are doing, especially at this age, and I'm like really proud of it.
Thank you.
Because like,
Thank you.
I didn't have that foresight, you know, at your age to be thinking about certain things. You know what I mean? And like, the fact that you're at a point where you're like actually building a team and like, you know, setting goals and like finding where different people fit in. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
just different.
It's just
it's different timing. Like I said, like.
It just like,
You know, like-
it wasn't like supposed to happen, but it just
no,
happened.
but it just happened.
It just
But
happened.
that's the
And, like,
that's
and
the
that's
best
the beauty
way.
of
That's
it.
the best way for it to happen. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you squad up like with your friends and people that like you vibe with. You make music. You know, you like the first time that I ever recorded, it was a similar situation in Ottawa with my guy Patience and Bender, R.I.P. And like we locked ourselves in a basement and just like banged out tracks for days, like, and we like ended up, you know, putting that onto like a little project, and that was like my first foray into something like in like 1999. You know what I mean? And so, you know, obviously we moved apart and that sort of thing, but like we all kind of kept on doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But like it's always, I mean, with you guys, like, you know, underdogs, you know, like crew, buddies, making
just
music.
happen.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I know what you're saying though about how these cats are like, you know, getting their shit together. You know what I mean? Like,
But
wait,
like,
yeah.
I grew up in a business environment. I
Yeah.
went to Hope Blooms when I was
Right.
8. So like,
Yeah.
the whole point of being at Hope Blooms is learn how to be an entrepreneur and create your own business. And me and my friend Kaladi, so he's like the business guy for LDN. He does like everything in the background.
he
he
does
really
so
does like
much
all
for
the
us,
stuff in
so
the
much for
background.
us.
And he's like one of the founders too. What's his name? We did that. Like we went to Hope Blooms every day, and I still go there to this day. And it just made us have a business foundation off rip. Like I knew at a young age I was never gonna have a normal job. I knew I was never gonna work for someone at like 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
No, most people don't have that mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like just being in that entrepreneur and just got me to this position where I'm at now.
See, like, I guess
Word up.
I had the same mindset at the age without the vision.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I'm always gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna be my own person. Like, I ain't gonna have anybody be in control of me. But I wasn't setting myself up to be in that position at the time.
See, like,
do you know what I mean? Like you had that vision
When I was
of
like,
putting the work in to create that.
When we were like 13, 14, we were always trying to set us. We did we did Call of Duty teams. So I did montages. We actually tried to get like famous on YouTube and stuff first, and we made multiple teams and just learned how to. So we need to find editors. We need to find people to make the montages. We needed players in the team so they can make the montages, same as mixtapes. So we were doing that at like 14 and like 13 years old. Until we're both 16, and then like we just realized how much we all started liking music and how much we connected on music. Because 2016 was like one of the best years for me that I started listening to music for my age. Like what was just coming out. For me, it was like, okay, I'm listening to all this crazy music. It sounded nice.
That was a good time for music.
Heading into 2017 is when I started studying. So then just being able to like start that Call of Duty thing for fun. It built this. Me and
transferable skills.
So we literally like, okay, you need players, we need artists. You need an editor, we still need editors. You need a videographer or like a GFX. We need a GF. Like it's basically almost the same. We were doing it younger, so then we got to like basically flip it into our music.
Yeah,
which was nice.
You already kind of had an idea of a ground, like a framework for how it needs to be done.
Yeah,
that's like super dope.
Like I did everything. Like Kaladi, I'm talking about anything business that I've ever done. We did landscaping business. Anything I always did with him because he's like, I have a vision, but he has like the crazy vision. Like he's the guy that's like, oh, let's do this, and brings every idea to the table no matter what it is. Like, he's the super visionary. Everyone has their vision, but he's just like, boom. So, like,
having a team, a good team, that's about it, super important.
Super important.
Nobody can do it by themselves, right? And everybody has different insight than you would have, right? Like, with Frantic and I, right? Like, Frantic has more patience to do the online stuff and, like, figure out how to, like, work the algorithms and shit. Me, I go fucking crazy. Right? I'm better at like reaching out to people and saying like, what up? You wanna come fucking like blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like we have the yin and yang type thing, you know what I mean? And like having everybody that like is comfortable with what they're good at and like bring those people together is super important. Like, LDN isn't just rappers and producers. Like you guys got ideas for like videographers and like having everything in-house. So you don't gotta reach out to anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's what we try to build. We try to build everyone, so we have everything. So like, if you need anything, it's part of your team.
That's smart as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like one thing my grandmother used to tell like my old man, like my uncles and shit. She was like, "You get a trade as an electrician. You get a trade as a carpenter. You get a trade as like this. You guys start a business together, and you can do everything."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you guys take each of your specialties, combine them, and then you're the full package. Then like you don't gotta go to somebody for this and then somebody for this. Like you just
come get us and then we can go do that together.
Yeah. And like
so how'd that work out?
What? Sold pizzas.
But they sold pepperoni.
Yeah, they sold pepperoni.
With Future and like Brockhampton and like ASAP Mob and like whatever. Like it's always like the collectives always like are able to like expand further, especially when you have videographers and artists. Like there's so much that you need to like, especially like video art. Like that shit is so important. Like the visual aspect of it now is like
definitely
crucial.
No, it's really crucial.
Yo, what I love is like when you're young and coming at this shit and it's like kind of fresh to you, you got this hunger and you just have so much fun doing everything. Like when you make that whole mixtape on Christmas Eve, like you're just fucking loving everything about it, right? And then like, not for everybody, but like after doing it for a bit, shit is less exciting and you get like a little more jaded about things. Do you know what I mean?
Like I know what you mean.
You have like certain expectations of things and like, it's just like
that's what's happening now. Like I'm just getting certain expectations for myself that I want to achieve.
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
you have to have those, but you also have to remember why you love
exactly
doing
that.
this.
And exactly that.
Right?
That's what I think about
And, like,
in those
I think-
situations.
It's like a relationship, you know what I mean? You gotta put in work to, at first it's exciting, and as time goes on, the relationship becomes more deeper, but it's easy to get hung up on little things and you have to sort of work it like it's a relationship takes work and like you have to address, when you're having issues with it, like remind yourself, like revisit what it is that was like, getting things popping initially and like keep it fresh and keep it sparky and whatnot. So
And like,
that's a crazy. That's a
piece of gold right there. For real.
It's like a relationship. I agree with that 100%. Because I'll be in situations where I'm making music for a whole month and I'm feeling dog happy and excited. And then
the next month you're like,
the next 2 weeks I'm like, I can't record right now. If I record, I'm not gonna like. I'm at a point where it's like I might stop doing this for just a chunk of time.
Yeah.
So I just take little breaks and make sure I.
You gotta live.
You need your space. You know?
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
you need your space. Right?
Like I was saying this, I think I was to Chudy the other day. We were chilling, and I was like, I had this thought always comes to me sometimes, right? Is like, if I just said fuck music and like fuck all my dreams as an entertainer, and just got a fucking trade or like some job where I can make 80 to 100K a year and just live a normal life, that would be way less stressful for me.
Yeah.
But I just know I wouldn't be happy.
less meaningful.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it's like, but it always comes to a point in this music shit, right? And like, when you're a musician, like everybody's doubting you, always. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you'll have your supporters, but like it always comes at some point or another where you're like, is this really it?
Well, it's like I told you, and I've told you multiple times, like, if you're passionate about something, you find a way to make it work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, whether that means you gotta, like, take a step back from it, take a break. You gotta get a job that's gonna occupy, like, a sizable amount of your time so that can facilitate you doing your thing that you wanna do ultimately. Because, like, if you wanted to take that 100K job that you didn't love just for the money and the security, peace of mind, like, once you had that, you know, chances are you probably wanting to go back to making music again. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's the thing. I just like, you were saying at a young age you knew this was what you wanted to do.
Like, yeah, like when I hit grade 11, I was like, I'm making music. Like, there's nothing else I really want to do.
Since I started rapping when I was like 12, right? And I didn't have the same vision or the foresight of how to set it up. But, when I got into it and got into art, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, no matter what the road is,
like, this is what I'm
this is like, I'm on it. And like, now I'm at a point where I'm like, I can't give up. I can't let y'all motherfuckers be right.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta win. You know what I mean? And it's really important to surround yourself with different people with different perspectives. And like, especially like
today.
Like
Exactly.
today. Like, this is like really why I got so excited, right? Is like, you guys are the younger generation. We're kind of the middle child. And you're the OG. I'm not gonna call you old on camera. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. You're not in frame, so it's all good.
No.
Probably not either. You're sitting at the side of the
Always
TV.
backwards.
Who's this guy not on camera talking all the time? Shit.
So one thing I've noticed between you two on different sides of the coin is that you're both really about community and supporting other artists. Yeah. So what I find interesting is like your link up to like Radstorm. Shout out to Radstorm.
Shout out Radstorm. Yes, sir.
So what are you trying to build with your studio out in Radstorm now?
Like basically just trying to get more. Like I'm trying to do a workshop right now with youth. So like my little brother has a group and they have a business, but they also want to learn how to record. And they're in the age where I started enjoying music. Mm-hmm. So they're in like grade 8. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a little workshop, and I think they're gonna make a theme song for their business. But they also want to learn how to like make beats and record. Like my little brother really likes listening to like Juice WRLD and listening to music, but he actually listens to it and studies it. Yeah. And I see him do that, and he watches me when I started recording. He saw me when I started recording at the beginning. Yeah. And used to go in my room and freestyle on the mic. He used to play with my mic when he was like, 11, 10 years old, and used to go in there and try to record himself. So like, just being able to like share what I learned with more people is what I'm trying to do. Even if it's engineering, producing, rap, and just anything that I can share that will help you out. That's what I try to do.
That's amazing, because like if you keep doing that and then keep inspiring the younger generation, like the music culture in Halifax is just gonna grow and prosper. And like it's gonna give the kids like, something to live for.
Yeah, what I'm really trying to do is just create more opportunities.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to do.
I think really to be successful, you have to want other people to be successful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because what's the point of you being successful and then everyone down on the ground?
And that's something that I think of, about everybody in this room is like has the idea of like, I want to get on so I can put everybody else on.
Exactly.
It's not just like, look at me, like I'm fucking dope. Like it's like, I want to do things so I can make opportunities for my people. Exactly. And like that's really like
that's
dope.
really what I want to do. Opportunity. Like my main vision is just to create opportunities for other people. Because where I'm from, it's either sports, drugs, basically it. Like sometimes it's music there. Like I know people in my community make music, but it's not as heavy.
It hasn't
you know
been
what I mean? So like just creating, even if you want to be like just anything you want to be, just creating that opportunity. And plus where I'm from, most people just see you as those two things. They don't see you as anything else.
Yeah.
So like I'm just trying to create more opportunities in my community and like just spread that.
Being able to see further than that is a privilege. Like being able to like have the idea of wanting to create a vision or having a vision for a future for yourself is a privilege, and people, like a lot of people forget that.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy the hood one day. That's one of my goals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to buy the square, revamp it, make it more community. So no, what is it like? The switch, like right across the street, they got 2 apartment buildings right there, and trying to make it more.
Gentrified.
Exactly. I'm not trying to have that. I'm trying to build it like how it was when I was a kid. People inside barbecuing. You got 3 barbecues, 4 barbecues. You can go to each host and go get a burger if you really want, if you're hungry.
Might pop a brick through a fucking...
I'm with the barbecue thing.
The reason why I'm saying that, my mom threw the crazy. Barbecue start at 1, wouldn't be done until 3 o'clock in the morning, and everyone in the whole square would eat food from my mom. So like, I like that, and then your meat also chatting with new people all the time.
The community was like dope. Like my family had the CNC coffee shop by JJ's.
Yeah.
Forever. Like we're from the block, right? And like just like seeing shit, like certain things pop up, like it just rubs me a wrong way, like being from the community forever. Like I don't know. I ain't trying to throw too much shade on camera, but I might throw a fucking brick through a donut shop window. You know? I mean, like motherfucker, like I'll get that sugar shit, like 2 of them?
The views expressed by Apollo 13 do not
No, everybody feels this way. My views are everybody's views. You better listen to this shit.
No, I was
right?
Just,
right?
No comment. No comment.
All bricks aside.
Tell Virgil, like brick on my brick.
Well, it's like the good. There's a lot of good things that are happening in the North End, like like Hope Blooms, and like if it wasn't for like shout outs to Common Good Solutions, Love,
Common
like
Good. Yeah, I worked there too. I went to Common Good.
Like there's so many people that are like coming together and doing cool stuff and like community based and like reaching out. It's you're just like another piece of that. I think we all have a role, in our own little ways to like make things, inspire the youth and like help people out and make the community better in the ways.
I think it's more than music. Like my music is like this is what I want to do, but this is my gateway to help other people create opportunity.
But you're not limited to that.
Exactly.
You know what
I
mean?
can do way more than that, and I think about that like what I acted this summer. I played in a movie. I was like a co-star.
Yeah.
So I did something like that was different.
Yeah.
Than like getting out of my element, but like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the biggest like a couple things. Like one of my biggest fuck you guys. One of my biggest influences was this guy right here. Shh. Right? Is because like he taught me the importance of like expanding into different, like I was just a rapper. That was my focus. I wasn't thinking about producing. I wasn't thinking about other things. And then like watching him move, like to be in this business, you have to have multiple hats. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to get in and fit in different ways. And that's like something I feel like you guys are learning at a young age. Yeah. Which is really dope. And the other thing is like
right now I basically manage all my artists, like all the artists. So I make sure all their mixtapes are gonna come out, and he mass mixes all of them. So like I just make sure stuff just tries to go down.
I have a question. Does that ever cause disputes?
Like
where is anybody ever like you're trying to be too much of like calling the shots?
No, I never call shots either.
But, I mean not like being demanding, but like does anybody ever get that feeling where you're like trying to set up a promo schedule for their mixtape or something? They're just,
never. Like I'm just helping you out. I'm doing what you want to do. So like I'll never try to be like, oh, you need to do this. I'll be like, you can try this. I tried this and it worked for me. Maybe if you do this, it will make this go better. Like I'll always give you option, but at the end of the day, it's your art, it's your music. This is what you want to portray yourself as and what you want to do. I'll never I got rappers that in my group that rap completely different than I do on my solo. But I'm not gonna go up to say you need to talk like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just talk true to you. And if this is what you want to portray yourself and what you want to put out, then I'm with you 100% because I mess with your music and I mess with you as a person. So if you want to put that out, I'm with you.
Yeah. Like that's a team, right? So like, if it wasn't team, then you wouldn't have it would be a conversation. You know what I mean?
So I guess it's a little different than I guess what I'm thinking is.
You're talking about ego stuff.
Well, we were as a group together where we were releasing our shit together.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas you're talking about like people in your collective dropping like solo.
But we also do have our our album too.
Yeah, but like I mean, when you're dropping like a collective album, like does that ever become a thing where like somebody's like, No?
Every time we recorded that, we're just like, who wants to hop on this? Oh, I'm not feeling this. Oh, we can hop on that.
Yeah.
This is perfect for
It's
me.
just
We're just
organic, you know what I
organic.
mean?
Like, we
Yeah.
never force someone into a situation they can't be into.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're working on our tape now, and there's a couple artists that aren't on a lot of tracks. And we're just trying to get them on tracks. But whatever they feel, if they can get on this one, go ahead, get on
You can
it.
lead them to water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can't make them drink.
We're not gonna say here's a beat, you hop on this.
You have to hop on
you
this. If
hop
you're not on this, then so and so.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never,
There's
like,
no
it's
sense in being like that.
Exactly.
Well, I guess like one thing was like, I guess my example I'm thinking of is we were dropping a music video, right? And I felt we weren't ready. We didn't have enough things ready for the music video to make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the other two members of the group, Frantic and Fee, shout out Fee, were like, no.
Shout out Glenn.
Shout out Glenn. I don't think he produced that one.
Yeah,
I think
he
you did he? Oh, shout out Glenn. Yeah. Whatever, cuz. Yeah,
I know your discs
remember
better than
everything.
you do, man. Fuck. Yeah, shout
But
out.
like,
Big up, Glenn.
you know, I felt like the track, we didn't have everything in place enough. And they're like, no, let's just do it. Let's get it done. Like, and like that caused like a bit of an argument. Like, we're homies, so like, you know, we argue and then we become cool again. Like, it's, you know, any relationship, you can fight. If you really love each other, you become friends again. But like, has that ever happened with you where you're like, no? Just like
oh yeah, disputes always happen that because your family also. A lot of people, like I said, I knew from elementary school. So like we've been tight since we were kids. So like stuff like that does happen. Like if we were gonna shoot a vid and not everyone agrees, we try to make sure we're agreeing on if we're doing a collective video. Like we shot On a Mission and we knew it was the break of COVID, so we all couldn't be together. We shot it before.
Yeah,
like, we shot it by ourselves
we-
before, all four of us together. And then after we redid the ID, and I was like, what if we shot a part of each of our hoods? And they just show, cause like whoever's gonna watch, like coming to watch you, they'll know exactly where you are.
Where you
exactly.
at,
So
yeah.
like On the Mission, I was in what is it? I forget the court. Wow, it's my hood and I forget the court. But I was in like I always go there too to go smoke. But that's where I was.
You were in the rows, yeah?
That's where I was walking, yeah.
In the lanes,
And then
yeah.
like my other friend was he lived on Spryfield. He was like underneath a bridge part that like bring a bridge of Spryfield or whatever for like him. And then two of my other friends were in the pub, so one went to a parkade and like stuff like that, just to show. And we agreed on that. It takes time, but like arguments always happen. It's just too close. And
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Yeah, and just like, you know, your music's like your baby.
Yeah.
It's like a part of you, right? So like, you're very sensitive about that shit. At least I am. Maybe I'm just a big bitch, but don't fuck with my music.
I didn't say shit. Why are you looking at me, dude?
Because you were,
Because you're off this. You're out of frame.
you did a Christopher Walken. You're like,
You're out of frame, man.
fuck you guys. You're not.
Fuck you
I
guys.
think the episode's over.
All right, that's
I'm
a
just
great
joking.
place to wrap it up. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Honestly, it's honestly been really dope having you guys, and like I respect you all as fucking artists, and just like being able to have you guys converse in that way is like a real privilege for us as
I'm glad to be here too and have this
Podcast.
conversation for real.
Thank you.
And plus I like talking to people older than me, you know what I mean?
It's
And
good
just
to get
having that
knowledge.
perspective and just listening and gaining more knowledge. I love learning.
Yeah,
that
me
was
too.
the point I wanted to make earlier. Is like that's a huge thing that's important. Is like you having older people you can listen to, and us as older like artists having younger people we can listen to instead of just being crusty old heads and be like,
This is
"Oh,
my
I don't
way
like
and they
that."
gotta be
Well,
the
yeah,
same.
this
Well,
is-
what I
yeah.
learned at a young age was like, one of my friends said, I don't like change. Like, I don't like when things change. And I'm like, change is what grows you as a person. If there's no, like, you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable,
To get
and then you gotta
comfortable.
get more uncomfortable. If you wanna change and grow as a person, you need change.
Yeah. I think one of the most important characteristics of a being, like a person, is adaptability.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Like I always said this, life is like a corner you can never look around. You never know what's on the other side of that motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta be ready for whatever the fuck's coming, right? And like, you know, you put me in any situation and I will adapt to that
Yeah,
situation.
but you gotta have that mindset
That
first to
mindset,
get into that.
yeah.
Like I know some people from where I live that won't even go to like a Starbucks because they just don't feel comfortable going around these certain type of people. Me, growing up, my mom showed me like, you can go here, you can go there, you can do this. So I can go to these places, I feel comfortable. Like I don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to show people that like when you make yourself uncomfortable and it gets comfortable, you're gonna bring yourself farther and farther in your life, and you're gonna be able to do stuff that you never thought you could do.
Yeah, push yourself.
course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just gotta have that mindset though. Some people don't have that mindset.
Yeah.
To push
Honestly,
themselves.
like
blessing.
being scared or like being in situations where you're like scared or nervous is like it keeps me alive. Like it keeps my life exciting. You know what I
Those
mean?
are the
Like
points of
like
learning. That's
learning.
like
Yeah,
when-
like if you just stick
when
with
you're
shit that you're
confronted with
comfortable with.
something that goes against everything you believe in, that's when you either shut off or take it in, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I learned. I try to be as understanding as possible. When someone's telling me something, even if I'm against it, I'm gonna try to understand your point of view, and you're gonna try to understand mine.
Yeah. even if I'm not gonna change my opinion, I want to listen to why you have that
Because everyone has their own
opinion
opinion.
and like soak it up. You know? And
Like when I talk to my friends about who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan, I say LeBron. That's my opinion. And people say Michael, but it's just based on like just talking.
And you know, like you guys as younger people, right? There's a lot of like expectation for you guys to just listen to what older people have to say, right? And that's wrong, especially in like a genre like hip hop, where it's like it's hip hop because it's got to be hip, right? You know what I mean? And like I think it's really important to listen to what the upcoming generation has to say, and like I think you guys are doing that well, and you're making it so people have no motherfucking choice but to listen.
For real.
That's the goal.
That's
like,
how it is, man.
Like that's what you gotta do is like you gotta hear this. Like you want to, even if you don't want to hear it, you want to hear it. You gotta know what I gotta say, right? And you guys are doing that phenomenally, and you got the vision, and you're building, and I'm real proud of you.
Appreciate
Socks,
that.
you're good too. You alright? No, that's my dog. But yeah, I'm
As
really.
your grandmother said.
Honestly, you're lucky she ain't here. She slapped the shit out you.
Shout out to Glenn.
Shout out to Glenn.
She said shout out to Glenn.
No, shout out to Glenn though. Honestly, like Glenn's a good friend, man.
Glenn's getting fucking low.
Nah, he's the man.
This episode?
Well, I put him.
Glenn's podcast.
I know.
No, I had to like. I
Got
wrote
you on the show, man.
I wrote the acknowledgements for my album. You know what I mean? Which is always it's the first time I've ever had to do that. It's the first time an album of mine's getting printed on vinyl, so I had to do like acknowledgements.
Yeah.
And I had to give a shout out to Glenn because when I was going through one of the hardest points in my life, he would call me every night without fail.
Straight up.
Just to see what's up, shoot the shit, and like, not many people get a friend like that in life, and that's important.
That's good
Musically
shit,
or otherwise, you know what I mean? So, shout out to Glenn. You're my motherfucking dog. I love you.
Glenn.
And if American Eagle ever offers me $200 grand to wear a denim jacket,
I'm taking
I'll
it.
fucking do it for you, baby. I'll fucking do it for you. Fuck, did we get this pizza or what?
Oh my gosh.
Is that it?
Yo, this is the Get Down. Today we had Ghettosocks, my big homie, Kye Clayton, Luke Berryman, my younger homies.
LDN, baby.
LDN
Records.
We noticed,
all
man.
day. I'm Paulo 13.
I'm frantic.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's your lucky day, made my mind, I love you, babe. Girl, don't trust a thing, keep that head up comfortably. Surrounded by flippers and scammers, they call me licking on camera. Two-tone like Hannah Montana, who go, that bitch is a dancer, ballerina. Walking the block is I had to see her, calling the plug is I had to re her. Dancing out for my time wasted, I couldn't fuck if she basic. I couldn't fuck cause every time I texted the phone, that bitch would erase it. I need a drink, pour me a Henny and Coke, and go ahead pour some more. This how we do it, you gon' end up on the floor. Where's your self-control? Falling right down to your knees. Ask for help for sure, you just tell me what you need. Seem like a minute since we've been kicking it, tell me what's happening. I know she popped up on my phone, that was an accident.
Yeah, chillin' with killers and niggas that's drillers and quick with the clippers. Shootin' for freedom cause crack is still trippin'. Leave us to die but want hits to make man. Ain't no bitch in me, my dog, I'm taking your word. Now get to the birds, pack 'em and flip 'em, then send to the birds. Double it, triple it, niggas get burned down. She blowing up my phone, I don't know what's happening. They tried to set a young nigga up, I wasn't having it. Take my bitch out the country on some lavish shit. This is more than a game, Colin Kaepernick.
It's your lucky day, made my mind, I love you, babe. Girl, don't trust a thing, keep that head up comfortably.